All right, Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited, partsbreakers.com, 303-666-9020. Going to be 2 frame videos here, although these are both going to be fairly dismantled, but still considered pre-dismantled only because they're not completely done. I like to have them completely done, just to make sure there's nothing. In this case, it's pretty, there's not much that could be hidden. Potentially where the fuel tank is, but this frame is exceptionally clean, as well as that one. Let me go over them with you real quick, tell you who we are, what we do out here, how long we've been doing it, kind of give you the spiel. So we're Jeeps Unlimited, legacy name. That's been our name since 1984. Yes, we've been around for a long time. Actually, the company's been around as long as I've been alive. I acquired it in 2014. I had another 4x4 shop in Denver, and then bought Jeeps Unlimited. They were based out of Erie, Colorado, just north of Denver. And then in 2018, amongst a few reasons, reasons why, traffic being one of them, just a mass in-horde of people, and wanting to raise my kids in somewhat of a small town like I was raised in, we moved our entire operation to Grand Junction. We had about a quarter of an acre over there. In its glorious days, it was a huge yard, but when we bought it, they slimmed us way down, quarter acre and about a 4,000 square foot building. When we moved over here, we got a really small, basically our shop where we do most of our dismantle or work, although that's changing here soon. But we got a massive yard now, almost 8 acres, just 7.5. We got a lower yard and we got an upper yard, and we live on the property, which is awesome. So kind of knocked out a few birds with one swing. Anyway, we've been known forever to sell primarily Jeep parts, although we've dabbled in a few other things, but our specialty is rust-free Jeep parts. There's not many out there, if any, that have that claim to fame, I guess it is, whatever. And that's kind of our one of our big niches, amongst other things. Frames, tubs, that's something we kind of broke the ground on back in, that's my first shop. So I've been doing frames and tubs for over 20 years myself. I've been in business doing Jeep parts for 22 years. So, and it was a guy from Florida that came in originally, long time ago, and asked me what I was doing with all these stacks of frames and tubs I had. And in Colorado, we don't rust out here. We don't use salt on the roads. So he gave me the idea, and at that point, from then on out, I've been taking frames and tubs, pre-selling them and taking them out to the East Coast, Midwest, coastal areas, stuff like that. So, okay. So we have 2 frames here. One is a CJ5 frame. All CJ5 frames are narrow track. Used to think there was a wide track 5 frame. If they ever made one, it's news to me because I haven't seen one. And I think the reason they didn't is because they knew they were getting rid of them. And 83 was the last year of them. And the reason I say that is because in the CJ7 world, 81 is the last year of narrow track. So once you get into your 82s, same with the Scrambler, 81 is the only year of a narrow track Scrambler. And then you get into your wide track stuff from 82 to 86. But these ended in 83. And I think because they were ending production, they just never, I've seen 83s narrow track. So again, I've seen people make them wide track, but never seen an actual one. And again, who knows, they may have done them. I just have never seen one. So, okay. So this is a narrow track CJ5 frame, as they all are. The giveaway points on narrow track, the easiest way to spot one is the welded on front shock towers. Little itty bitty guys, how they outboard them. Versus the wide tracks have bolted on shock towers. And because the shock tower or the shock mount itself goes to the axle versus the spring plates, that's part of the reason they do it that way. They get a little bit better throw out of them. So yeah, you can convert them, and a lot of people do. Get a little bit more shock options. I don't know if they necessarily ride any better. Stability wise, obviously you get wider axles in there, and they're not, the frames, if you looked at these two minus the length on them, they're flipped. It'd be great if they were facing the right way right now, but I wasn't intending to do this video. But we had so many calls on CJ5 frames last week that I figured, it's probably time we put up at least one that's available. There's this one, and I have one more, and they're both in the same condition and they're both in the same shape, meaning that they have chassis underneath them. Now, when I make my delivery trips, which I'm coming up here on one here in about 2 weeks, it's impossible for me to bring something like this. I mean, I say impossible. With the load I have, it would be very hard to do it this way. It's always, you know, I can see how the load goes, but I already know how this load's going, and I'm almost full. And the reason that is because we stack our frames and then the way we do our tub. So the space is fairly limited on that. So if you decide, hey, I really want that whole chassis, which a lot of people do because our axles are just as clean as these frames are. And again, if you're in the Midwest, East Coast, you're probably dealing with more than just a frame issue. Your axles are probably fine, but usually, especially the rears, always get like pencil thin just from the amount of rust corrosion on them. So, but this was a running and driving Jeep, as this was as well. They're not, you know, we don't buy our Jeeps wrecked. We have a couple out here, the later models, but I would say in 22 years, I could probably count on two hands wrecked Jeeps we bought out here, just not a lot. So part of that is because we want nice, true, straight frames. We still measure them. We still scope them. We do all that just in case, because you never know. It's like it could have been in a fender bender, or, you know, hit at some point and fixed. And it's pretty easy to tell if they've ever been fixed because usually they have to cut the frame and then re-weld it, and there's clear evidence of it. So, but in this case, this one's nice. It needs to be cleaned. Unfortunately, my hot seat went down last week. So that's probably not going to happen the way I'd like it to, because normally we get them clean. And the reason I like to show them clean, we don't paint them or doctor them anyway, but one of the reasons I like to show them so clean is because all this stuff back here is all just grime. All the black paint that you see on these things, both of these, is original factory paint. That's how good a shape these things are in. So, I mean, I can give you just an example. Not that this matters to most of you, but I just take a lot of pride in how clean these frames are. So the areas that like to rust on CJs are different than TJs and YJs and so forth. So these guys like to rust at the back end of them. Sometimes they'll rust at the front, just depends on how bad. The other area they like to rust is underneath where your cross member is. There's not a lot of clean out there. So, but primarily where you'll see CJs blow out the worst is usually in the back half. And it's somewhat of the structural half of this frame, the way they built these. As you can see, there's not much up through here. Okay, they have a bar they tie in, literally a tie-in bar, and then you have this mount, which is really just there for your gearbox that they went to, that Saginaw style gearbox they went to in these years. Because the early CJ5 frames were not only C-channel, they finally boxed them in, thank goodness, because the early ones were real weak. But the front of them has hardly anything up there. And a lot of that is, you know, the motor ties everything together, the suspension. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that kind of tie the front together, but you probably should have beefed them up a little bit more. But the rear has all of it, right? So it's got two, you have technically two cross members or you know, frame stabilities here. Then you have your rear, which is more or less just I mean, it's not super strong. Matter of fact, those are replaceable and they often do go bad. And that piece isn't very expensive. If you do ever have to replace, you know, a piece on them, you can get those for like 50, 60 bucks new. That's one of the few pieces they make. And I think it's just because it was kind of a chinchy piece. It really doesn't do much because it doesn't hold a bumper. It holds the bumperettes. If you're going to be planning on putting a big bumper on something, it's always advisable to beef the rear section of these up. Put some thick, you know, some steel plating on the back, fish plated on. We can do that here as well. We have a fabricator now, he's fantastic. So that's that. So the areas like I was talking about is like back through here, and you can see this one's all good. And then the inside, it's a little hard to see just with the fuel tank sitting in here. But this frame, as I see it right here, is going to be an A. Now, this is another reason I like to do videos after wash, because, and this has happened before, especially on Jeeps that have been lifted. This one has not. This one might have a little lift on it. We had one in here not too long ago that had this huge lift on it. It was a beautiful looking frame. It wasn't until I completely got it completely clean and hot seat, everything, and I noticed that the front had been cracked, and it was more than likely cracked from just too big of a lift and not really supporting all that weight. Plus they had a 350 in it, and they had fixed it, but they didn't do a very good job. So it completely killed the frame in my eyes. You know, somebody ended up buying it still because we do those frames at a huge discount. And I have frames. If you don't want a grade A, you know, a lot of times Midwest, East Coast guys, you know, it's one of those things that it's like they look at this and they're like, wow, that's amazing, but I really don't need that. I just need something better than I have. I have several slightly modified or missing the back, this channel piece I was telling you about back there, for super cheap. We move those down the road, just get them out of the way. Don't usually list those on the site. These kind of ones we do. These are really clean ones. So if you want a nice clean one you don't have to really do anything to, this would be it. So the other thing is that if you decided to put a deposit down on anything we sell, this is anything, right? Especially our big stuff, because this is really the only way we even do it. If you called and said, hey, I just want to pay for it, you know, here's the money, blah, blah, blah. It happens a lot, but we always tell people, you know, a couple $100 put down, I'll get you a better video. I'll get the hot seat up and going and get it rephotoed and videoed for you. And there's two reasons behind that. One, it gives you a little peace of mind. The second reason is, that's a perfect example. And until I completely wash this thing and go over it with a fine-tooth comb, I come across things, you know. It sucks when I do, but it does happen. Again, I don't think this will happen on this one, but it is kind of peace of mind. And then the last thing with that is, because I'm coming out this time, we can do deposits and the balance on delivery, which is a huge advantage for a lot of people, because most of the time we do hot shots and the balance has to be paid before it gets shipped, just like any other item you order online or anything else, and it shows up your door. Not that that's a concern of all, but I know there's a lot of scams out there, a lot of people, you know, so you get to meet my mug and go from there. So like I said, hopefully you've kind of seen that one. That's at CJ5, and that's going to be that 76 to 83. Now, give you one more piece of trivia here, Jeep knowledge. 76 is the exact same frame as this is, okay? And the 76 is the exact same frame as this is, minus the white track. Obviously, it's narrow. There's one thing that's different on the two. It does not affect it all the way it bolts up. But if somebody's building a numbers matching Jeep, and it's specifically a 76, there's going to be a few things you're going to notice about your frame and go, that doesn't look right. The first thing is, before we even get into the frame, is typically the 76s are drum brakes, okay? This one actually is a drum brake setup, ironically. So this one could be a 76 and a half, it could be a 77. And the reason I say it's not an early 76 is because on the early 76s, they weren't a fully boxed in frame yet. So if you have a 76 and yours is not fully boxed in and you don't give a rat's ass, excuse my French, about numbers matching, or maybe you do, but this isn't a big deal, don't buy a 76 because they're a little weaker, okay? They literally only box in sections of the frame. You can kind of see, actually, and I don't have one right now to show you, you know, but you can kind of see where this is factory welding here, right? And I believe, if I remember right, it's this section here. Don't quote me on that right now because it's been a while. We have had them in, and like I said, the guys who are building those numbers matching ones, they usually they want that. But it is a structural thing that they did box them in, and if you don't care, you know, really nobody's going to see it. But if it, you know, it just depends if it bugs you or not. If you're a 76 guy, if you're not, then, you know, whatever. All right, so that takes care of that one for the most part. Again, you're going to get a full video of it, wash, clean. And if somebody puts a deposit on this thing before here in the next week, it'd have to be this week because next week I leave. I'm leaving on the 28th. I have jury duty on the 26th. Hopefully I don't get selected, but I left a couple buffer days just in case I do. It's a small town. I can't imagine they goes much. I don't know what it is, but so that's kind of the deal next week. If you decide to put a deposit down, we'll get it fully stripped and I'll get you the video. Otherwise, this thing is not going to get fully stripped probably until I'm back, because the guys have 30 projects, literally 30 projects they're working on right now. We just put a board up and it was quite crazy how backed up we got. We've been backed up for a long time. I don't think any of us knew how bad we were backed up. So anyway, so here's a CJ7 frame, and now we're into the 82 to 86, okay? And again, this will bolt on to any CJ7 from 76 to 86. But if you happen to be a 77 or 76 or whatever guy or girl, and trust me, this trip actually I'm delivering on, and it makes me so happy because my little girl's 2. I can only imagine, you know, I'm hoping she'll grow up in the world where she wants to work on cars. But I have 3 tubs and a frame, all separate women that I'm delivering to on this trip. And I've already delivered to them before. I'm super pumped that I get to do it again. And it just shows, you know, it's just awesome, especially just hands-on anything in this world for any boy, girl, whatever. So important. So anyway, I got off on that tangent. What was I saying? You can use this on any year 76 to 86, even though it is a wide track frame. The only caveat to that is the frames themselves, it's a misnomer that the frames change the width. The width, that is not what changed on these frames, okay? The width is the same on the frame. I know that seems, well, it's a wide track or a narrow track, okay? If you look at this and you measure it versus this, even though they're 5s and 7s, they are identical, okay? This one looks a little different because it's a little earlier frame. There's the looks wise, but what they changed on them was the positioning for the axle mounts, okay? If you look here, look at how much space is here versus here, okay? So that didn't change. The only thing they changed, again, is this here and this, and there's a couple other ones too. I don't want to make you think it's just that, but the frames themselves, the reason I say that is because there's a lot of guys out there that go, well, I really want a wide track CJ7. I like the way they look, because they do. They have a little different stance. They look a little wider. I think they look a little better. Some people like the narrower look. You can actually go the other way as well. But the difference is your axles, and that's really what you're, and do you have to replace your axles? No, you can actually re-weld and do some stuff. The rear doesn't need almost anything. I don't think it needs anything at all. The front is the ones that get the, see these little tabs here? Versus on a narrow track, the shock is mounted to the spring plate. So you can switch them around, or you can say, hey, I want a frame, but I want to do the full wide track conversion. I want to do wide track axles, you know. So that's all a possibility. This frame is an absolute gem. It's an A+. Again, I'll have to clean it just to confirm that. I don't see anything on it whatsoever. The back, the tank's been removed. The cross member's gorgeous. These are just absolutely stunning. This was a Jeep we were gonna fix. We have a few of those. If they meet certain criteria, then we do. We needed the tub really bad. We had a tub that went to Texas that got smoked in delivery. This was quite a while ago. We've had this thing for quite a while. That's back when we used to freight them. We used to crate them and freight them, and it literally looked like somebody set a Cummins motor on the cowl. It was the last time we ever crated and freighted a tub. I would do it on a frame, but I would never do it again on a tub. And we had done it for years and then always had decent luck. We had a couple things here and there, forklifts and whatnot, but by and large, we had pretty good luck until that day. And at that day I said, okay, no more. So we hired our own hotshot crew, and those are in between the trips that I go on. So I'm about to pee my pants. I'm doing the dance right now. So I'm gonna go in and do that, take care of business. But if you have any interest in either one of these frames today, and I appreciate you spending 20 minutes with us, we have a lot of cool things going on. I do a yard update if I wasn't, like I said, holding my britches right now. But anyway, 303-666-9020. It is 50 degrees today, and it is only 11 a.m. January, Western Colorado. We absolutely love it here. And, you know, amongst the weather, no salt on the roads really makes it a nice place to live. Take care. Thanks a lot. See you guys on the road.